320 pounds. Couldn't leave her house. Husband called her a failure and left. Today, she makes $435,000 per month from her bedroom, and she's about to show you exactly how she did it. Look, I know what you're thinking. Another success story from someone who had everything figured out, right? Wrong. Sarah's story is different because she started from a place most of us are terrified to even admit we're in, and that's exactly why her story matters. Sarah was 34 years old and weighed 320 pounds. But the number on the scale wasn't the worst part. She literally couldn't fit into restaurant booths anymore. Think about that for a second. The simple act of going out to eat became a public humiliation. Her doctor sat her down and said something that would haunt her. "Sarah, if you don't lose weight, you won't see 40. She was diagnosed with severe depression. She hadn't left her house in 8 months. Not for groceries, not for doctor appointments, not for anything. And then her husband left. He told her she had given up on life and he couldn't watch it anymore. She spent her days in bed, scrolling through social media, looking at everyone else living their lives while hers fell apart. She cried herself to sleep most nights, wondering if he was right. Here's where it gets interesting. Sarah was too ashamed to join a gym. Can you imagine? The very place that could help her felt like the last place she could go. So she did something that sounds almost ridiculous. She started walking around her bedroom. Not outside, not at a park. In her bedroom, back and forth, like a prisoner in her own home. But she did it. And on day 1, she did something terrifying. She posted her photo on Facebook with the caption, "Day 1." The comments came fast. Most of them were brutal. People she went to high school with, relatives, strangers. They said things that made her cry for hours. But then, one comment changed everything. "I'm 280 pounds and I'm scared to start. Can I do this with you?" That message was from a complete stranger, and Sarah realized something powerful. She wasn't alone. Her shame was shared by millions of people who felt exactly the same way. She created a free Facebook group called Bedroom Warriors. The name itself tells you everything. These were people fighting a war in the privacy of their own homes, where no one could judge them. She went live on video, walking in place in her bedroom, and invited others to join. 50 people joined the first week. They walked together. They shared their shame, their fears, their small victories. Sarah started making simple workout videos from her phone. No fancy equipment, no gym membership. Just her in her bedroom, showing people that you can start exactly where you are. By month 3, something incredible happened. Sarah had lost 35 pounds, but more importantly, her group had grown to 2,000 members. And then she got a message that would change everything. I'd pay $20 a month for a structured program. It was from a single mom who said the free content was amazing, but she needed more structure. She needed accountability. She needed meal plans, and she was willing to pay for it. Sarah spent the next week creating a 30-day challenge. Daily videos, meal plans, check-in systems. Nothing fancy, just organized. She posted in her group, Premium Program, $20 per month. 200 people signed up immediately. That's $5,800 in her first month. She quit her part-time remote job that day. Here's what Sarah figured out that most people miss. Authenticity beats perfection every single time. She didn't hire a film crew. She didn't get a professional website. She filmed from the same bedroom where she'd spent months crying in bed. Her members said, "She's not a fitness model. She's us." That's the key. She wasn't selling transformation from someone who had it all together. She was selling it from someone who was still in the trenches with them. She hired other overweight coaches, people who understood the shame of not fitting in airplane seats, people who knew what it felt like to avoid mirrors. Her coaches weren't Instagram models. They were real people with real struggle. By year 1, Sarah had 15,000 paying subscribers at $29 per month. Do the math with me. That's $435,000 per month. From her bedroom. from walking in place, from sharing her shame with strangers on the internet. She lost 140 pounds herself. She became the proof that her program worked. But she still films from her bedroom. That's her brand. That's her authenticity. She could afford a studio. She could hire a production team. But she doesn't, because her bedroom is where her members feel safe. Here's what Sarah wants you to know. You do not need to have it all figured out to start. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need expensive equipment or a fancy setup. You just need to start where you are with what you have. Sarah started with a phone camera and Facebook Live. That's it. She didn't wait until she lost weight. She didn't wait until she felt confident. She started from her absolute lowest point and she brought people along with her. The people who paid her weren't paying for a perfect program. They were paying for someone who understood them, someone who had been where they were, someone who proved that change was possible even when you feel completely broken. If you're sitting there thinking you're not qualified to start something, remember Sarah. If you're thinking you need to fix yourself before you can help others, remember Sarah. She was 320 pounds, depressed, abandoned, and ashamed. And she built a multi-million-dollar business from her bedroom. What do you have right now that someone else needs? What struggle are you going through that could become your greatest strength? Drop it in the comments, because someone out there needs to hear your story.